welcome. Yeah. Okay. This is JJ.
And this is Charlie.
Welcome to our brand new podcast. And
for those still around.
Right. Yes, exactly. For all those still around,
With the good taste.
the vast audience that we have reaches to no bounds.
No bounds.
No bounds.
None.
We have no bounds. So what we do here is we like to play a lot of video games and
watch movies, shows,
and talk about them. And
just a good old time.
You know, it's gonna be a little informal at first, you know, because we're just figuring out.
Getting to know you, getting to know us.
Yeah.
You know,
and
becoming a family.
What we need is family.
Family values.
Family, Charlie. Family values. And if you have any ideas for us, just let us know, you know?
Yeah.
That would be great. Help us help you. We'd like to be here for you.
Let us know what you guys want.
Yeah. This podcast is going to be a little informal, like I said before. And it's going to tell you a little bit more about us and what we're going to do here. A little short, like myself.
So very short, but...
Yes.
Yeah.
We deal. All right, so one thing we thought would be fun is we just look at our PlayStation wrap-up.
Just to give you a little example of what we play, you know, we're mostly on the PlayStation, but we got a little bit of everything, but, you know, just to let you guys know what we're into, see what overlines with some other people, you know?
And, all right, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go ahead first, because I'm... Oof.
What's the oof?
We'll start,
a lot?
We'll start with... We'll go down the list.
Okay.
So, straight from the top.
I'm already, like, peeking over at your numbers right now, and...
Look at my numbers.
Jesus. Charlie.
Alright, so go from the top. How many hours have you played on the PlayStation total?
Okay, so I don't have that number right now. I have the screenshot of the 5 most numbers that I have.
Okay.
Actually, if I go to the website, maybe it'll just give me that. I don't know if I have this.
It'll give you everything.
Oh, here we go. Alright, so we're looking at...
Oh, so
actually, wait!
Yeah, you're not that
I'm a
far
lot
off.
closer to you than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Here I was thinking I didn't play as much video games as you. I mean, I don't, but we're kind of close.
Yeah.
Alright, so I got 1,173 hours.
Alright, let's do some...
Oh, don't do this to me, Charlie.
Alright.
Not yet.
We won't shame you yet.
Not yet.
For me, myself, I have 1,637 hours. 467 of that was on the PS5. 1,170 was on the PS4.
Okay, I was for a second, I was like, what other console were you playing that's Sony other than the PS5? I forgot we spent most of last year on the PS4, so.
And apparently I'm much more of a single-player game than online, because I have 1,100 hours in single-player games and 500 in online, so...
You're looking at hours played locally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then hours played online.
Oh, yeah, mine's kind of the same, too. I got 742 hours played locally and 431.
All right, now this makes me feel a little worse looking at your numbers, because you played 360 days. Those are your hours are spread out among all that.
Yeah.
Technically, I have 321, so I have less days played, but more hours put in.
I don't do as many hours as my... You know me, I don't even get on until,
you don't have that long.
No, it's like I play like 11 at night till 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, little bursts, a lot of little bursts.
Yeah, a lot of little bursts, but that's like my go time.
Huh, and I apparently played 14 hours worth of VR, which is odd because I've only plugged it in once.
Well, no, didn't you play... Was that last year? Did you play Saints and Sinners last year?
I played it, yes, but I don't think that was when I had the giant time of it.
What did you play in VR?
There was a random period of time where I was like, hey, I have my VR here. I haven't played that in forever. So I downloaded like 6 games and just went through 6 different games.
Oh, I do. And weren't you getting trophies?
Yep, I was just having fun,
yeah,
playing some VR, and then
I remember that. All right, what's the other thing that we're looking at here?
How many games you played?
37.
So you played 37 different games this year.
Is your number including the VR too, right?
Yeah, it should include all of them. So it has 50 games that I played.
Okay.
So, little variety.
Yeah. All right, now the big one is, what is your number one?
Most played game. We'll start with you.
So, it's Overwatch. With 305 hours.
The game you love to hate.
Yes. I've played it a lot less this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot less so far.
Apparently me too, because that didn't even break my top 5 somehow.
How?
I don't know.
How is that
I
possible?
think I played probably like a little bit and then just got really mad and left.
But I play with you most of the time.
No, I mean, sometimes you've been playing and then I've been sitting on like that
Oh,
single
true.
player game.
Also, when you had that new job, you were like not on very often.
Yeah, I was like, I will,
That's probably where your local hours come in as
Yeah.
well. I could almost guarantee you that the year previous to that was you had a lot more online hours.
Oh, yeah. And surprisingly, my number 1, which I told you before, which is bizarre because I didn't know how this added up, is Destiny 2.
I don't get that.
With 216 hours. Like,
what?
Like, I played
happened?
a lot of Destiny 2.
I don't even remember this. You must have been playing it when you were...
I wasn't in the party.
Right, exactly. Because like
Yeah.
I said, there was like that period of time where you were working a lot and then not coming into the chat party.
Yeah, and there was Destiny also... If you're playing like the high-end stuff, like the raids and stuff,
Yeah.
usually you have to talk with the people you played with, and I found this one group of people randomly that was like, hey, I like your armor shaders. Let's play something. And I was like, all right, this sounds like you messing with me? All right, let's play. And then we went through like 6 different raids. Just,
hey, you look cool. You want to play with us? That's basically what happened, right?
yeah.
All right, so...
What's your number 2?
Number 2, no surprise, is Minecraft.
Another great game.
We
Classic.
put in a lot of time.
That was
on
our number
Minecraft.
1 2 years
Two
ago.
years ago, yeah. 119 hours last year of Minecraft.
Damn.
And that wasn't even a good year.
Yeah.
we put in some time, but
How many hours you put in this year?
119.
Okay.
What about you? What's your 2?
So my number 2, once again talking about bad games that we love, Hunt Showdown.
Hunt Showdown.
I blame Jesse for half of this, and then you
I
for
do
a
too.
quarter.
Well, no. Okay, if you're gonna blame anyone, if you're gonna blame anyone, it's gonna be me because I was the one that showed Jesse this game.
Oh, you were the one who did it?
I had been watching like this game, like before it came out,
Yeah, so was
and I was
but
like,
then
wow, I
forgot
really
about
like
it.
the concept of like battle royale. There are these really cool Louisiana old time bayou zombie like Resident Evil type
it's
stuff.
perfect.
Aesthetically, it's really cool. I like the concept of you like having to get like tokens to and like extract.
Yeah.
You don't even win when you
It's
get
not
the
about
thing.
killing everyone.
No.
Well,
yes.
depending on who you are.
Yes.
Jesse.
Follow the gunshots.
But this is actually one of those games that normally I wouldn't say this because usually it turns out bad. I think Hunt Showdown would be an excellent TV show. Like aesthetically.
Yeah. I'm
Just
very
very
curious
in
to
the
see what they
grind,
would do
wholesome.
for the like actual story plotline because there is none. But I mean, that might even be better.
I mean, Hunter going after each of those bosses.
No, yeah, that would be interesting. I would still watch it for sure. But yeah, that is no surprise to me either because I saw you playing that a lot. But
I'm more surprised. I don't think I see it on your list.
no, because fuck Hunt, man.
I mean, yeah.
Well, before they upgraded it for the PS5, it was when it came out, it was really hard.
For the aiming and all that.
Not hard, but like
Felt
something
janky.
felt weird,
It felt
and it
janky.
wasn't clicking. For as cool as the idea was, I immediately didn't click with the game, and not until it got upgraded with the PS5, there's something that they did that just changed the way
Chef's
it felt.
kiss.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
I mean, it's still bad. But it's so much better than it was.
I hate to love it, but it happens. It's my new online fix.
Oh God. More of that in our future. Cool.
Yeah, we'll continue that this year. All right, my number 3. Apparently, when Skyrim came out,
You just went a little hard.
I went a little hard on it.
I mean, it's not like we
and
played
I
it.
still only played 3 missions of the main storyline with 80 hours in it.
I've probably played this so many times, and I'm not proud that it's not my number 3, but it is my number 4.
Okay, well, at least it's on there.
Yeah.
Because you can put a lot of time into that game and not realize.
Yeah. How much did you put in?
I put 80 hours into it.
I put 121.
What? Did you beat it?
Yes, I beat it, but I also platinumed it.
Uh,
Another problem I
okay.
have, it's one of those games where it's like, hey, the platinum's just doing everything. I might as well do everything.
Might
Sounds
as well
like
do
fun.
everything. Oh my god. I have not beaten this game, Charlie. For the years that it's been out.
Wait, you never finished
I've
it?
never finished it, no.
It's been out like 6 times.
I know.
It's the Grand Theft
Every
Auto
time I
5.
play it, I get to like a certain point, and then I'm like,
Next game.
next game. Not that I don't want to continue playing.
The storyline first.
Because I want to be the very best.
But you can
that no one ever was. So I have to go do, if I'm doing like a magic build, I have to, obviously, before I continue on, I have to go to school, right? I have to go to college Winterhold. If I'm going to be a thief, I have to, if I'm going to do the bow and stuff, I have to go in the Thieves Guild. They need to teach me some shit. And you get some, like, gear that you can't get anywhere else.
I would understand that, if
and then I do the guild, and I'm like, that was a great game!
Well, maybe, hopefully this time you'll actually finish it, though, so we'll have to see.
No promises.
I'll make sure you finish it.
Okay. Alright, so hold me to it.
Alright.
This year, I have to finish Skyrim.
Okay.
I have to at least complete the main storyline.
Yeah, you don't have to do all the stuff, you don't have to platinum it, just you gotta finish the main storyline.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I have to finish the main quest line for the first time.
So we already know that's my number 4.
Uh-huh.
So we'll go to my number 3. Smite.
Smite?
I haven't played this game. I'm not a huge fan of MOBAs. Never have been. Just how it is. I always thought that was just a MOBA. I didn't realize there was the whole PvP kind of battle of just fighting in it until you told me about it.
PvP? What do you mean? You mean the arena?
Yeah, the arena battles.
Oh, and not the MOBA aspect.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
And once you showed me that, I had a lot more fun with it. I put in over 126 hours in it.
That's a good amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know. Just thought the combat was good. Had fun.
Who's your main character?
Ooh. Arachne, maybe?
The spider bitch?
Yes.
Gotcha. I don't remember the names of them. I like what's the wolf guy?
Oh,
Fenrir.
Fenrir. There you go. Yeah, you did love Fenrir.
It's my dude. I love being able to just pounce on people.
People thinking they're about to get away and then just...
That's the best. When you go into like the big wolf form and like just grab them
and gone.
Just bring them back to the team. It's the best feeling. Okay, so my number 4.
Once again, we're lining up a little bit.
Wait, is it...
Your number 4 is my number 5.
Oh, okay, so we're on the same page. Almost. Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Great game. I'm so happy they remade this.
It's so good. It's so good. One of my favorite game series, I think, of all time.
No doubt. Just expertly made.
Now, I will preface that I have 77 hours, and I have not completed all 3. I'm still in the midst of going through them.
Okay.
I have put it on pause for now because there were so many games coming out.
And so many more will be coming out.
And I was kind of like recently playing it. I think the last time I played it was the beginning of December. So it's not like I've put it off for too long. It's just that with December and then February, there were just so many games that I didn't finish it. So I'm halfway through the second one.
I think you'll be able to do pretty decent on it because I put 118 and I did all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't platinum any of them or anything like that, but I went through...
No, because
I did
the
a lot of
platinum,
side
the
stuff
first
too.
one, is the most insane.
Yeah, you have to do everything, play with everyone.
I'm not going to play that game 4 times.
Well, you don't really need to do that per se, but you got to like use each of the character class abilities a certain number of times. That's going to take the most time.
Yeah.
Like use biotic throw, but you can make certain builds.
But not only that, you have to, as you go through, make sure that you're playing with different companions. Because remember how they were like, oh, play this amount with this companion. So
now
I don't
even remember that.
Yeah, that was part of it. Is like you had to play like the whole game with like this companion or something like that, or a certain amount of time and missions with them. I just remember being like, wow, to do that with the classes was a pretty big ask.
Yeah.
Not that it's not the first one was rough, but it was still great, especially for when it came out. Like, you're like, wow, this is awesome! Back when, like, we didn't really care about a lot of that kind of stuff that
all right, cool.
A little dated nowadays, but they stepped it up with number 2. That's probably one of my favorite games.
The touch-ups and stuff they did for 1, just a ease of life stuff, very well done.
Made it so much better.
It makes other games, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, look really bad by comparison, and, you know, what happens when you actually care about touching something up and making it look good and giving it to some algorithm to try to auto-do it for you and make it terrible.
Weren't there, like, a mobile gaming company?
Yeah, and they kind of ran it through an AI program that was supposed to upgrade it.
What?
Yeah,
a fucking tragedy. that is. I'm not even someone who really typically likes Grand Theft Auto games. I respect what they do for the industry, and I respect the gameplay that people enjoy so much, because there's a lot of good stuff there.
6, they officially came out and said we're working on 6.
Yeah, we're working on 6. It'll get to you.
We're actually working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's confirmed. We all knew. Yeah. We all knew it was happening. But they're not for me. They're honestly not for me. I'm
gonna have to disagree, but I respect.
Like I said, I'm not saying that you can't say it's a great game, because it is a good game, obviously. But it's just not something that
You're running out to play.
The last time that I enjoyed Grand Theft Auto, I think, was Vice City. But I was also I was pretty young when it came out, and I enjoyed it a lot. But then, you get older, you refine your taste a little bit, let it aerate.
I don't know about that now.
What?
I mean, good and bad.
You talking about my taste?
No. Maybe.
We have almost similar tastes. It's just Grand Theft Auto.
But I also have a more...
Say it, Charlie.
No, it's better if I don't say
it. Okay. Well, fuck off, mate.
Preserve the friendship.
Okay. And then what was your 4? What was your 4? Skyrim? Was that?
Yeah, my 4 was Skyrim.
And how you had 100 and what?
121 hours.
Okay. All right. And then my 5 is No Man's Sky, or No Mansky. We like to call it.
Every game gets a nice little fancy title.
Yeah.
Scrim for Skyrim.
Yeah.
No Mansky for
No Man's Sky for sure. What a comeback of a game! It is so beautiful now.
Yes, it's what I thought the game was going to be when it first came out.
Hell yeah!
Was very disappointed.
Everyone was disappointed when it came out.
Well, the biggest problem was they came out and straight up lied about a bunch of things.
Yeah, the dude got overwhelmed. Yeah. It's a company made up of like 12 people, and this game blew up, and this guy is just sweating in every interview, just
Is there gonna be online?
This game
totally. There's totally gonna be online.
Making is there's gonna be a procedurally generated.
No, he even had smiles and was confident in his answers. Yeah.
I know, but look at his eyes. They were scared.
Shifty eyes, just looking left and right.
But I think what his vision ultimately was what it is today.
Yeah.
I think it has shifted, because originally I think what he wanted to do was have this very lonely kind of experience where you're are kind of
it's just you in space.
This lone what do they call them?
Oh,
interloper,
right?
Interloper, yeah. You're just this lone interloper going across, but fuck that shit. Nobody wants that. Yeah, no. We want to be
running around with each other, building stuff,
having some
time.
Cool little weird alien animal things.
But they definitely built enough back to where if they were to announce another game soon, I might not pre-order it, but I would definitely be I might get that day.
You're talking about Hello Games?
Yes.
Yeah. I honestly don't think that they're gonna stop No Man's Sky.
No, they won't.
I think it's gonna be another Minecraft thing.
I think, though.
Maybe if they grow as a company.
Because originally they couldn't make anything. If after the No Man's Sky came out once.
Yeah.
If they were oh yeah, this is our next game, everyone would be that's a good story, but we're not buying it.
No, we're not buying that. No, I think they're gonna stick to No Man's Sky for quite some time. I think it's going to be not as to the level of Minecraft just refusing to make a second one, which I approve of. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. This is actually a great thing to just actually take care of your game.
Yeah, and making it free. They didn't charge us any of those updates.
No, hell no. And they put a lot into it.
Yeah.
They've put No Man's Sky, oh my god. First of all, on the PS5? On the PS5, bro?
Looks beautiful.
It looks so good.
And I know you haven't gotten to play yet, but the VR is just fun.
I can only imagine. I'm getting more into VR as we continue on. I've had my skeptics about it, but
I've always loved VR. I was worried that PlayStation was going to kind of give up on it because it's, is it making us a lot of money? But with this next VR coming out, I'm getting that day one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the controllers alone.
They have eye tracking, which is...
Eye tracking?
So you can look on the menu and just click the X button instead of having to aim your controller.
Aiming?
Oh, so good.
I feel like everything they're going to tell us about the VR, I'm just going to be hyped for.
Oh, yes.
Gyroscoping. Like, yes, that's been in every.
They actually have the dual sense though in the controllers and headset.
Oh, so you're talking about like the vibration?
Yeah, and the adaptive triggers. So
they're gonna do the adaptive triggers for.
So when you're picking something up, you'll probably feel like the resistance, like you're actually grabbing something.
I'll tell you that I think the coolest thing about the PlayStation 5 for me has been the adaptive triggers. Mm-hmm. I know it's so small and it shouldn't be like the thing that makes me go whoo like every time I feel it, but there have been games where I felt it for the first time, like most notably when we were playing Chivalry, because when you run out of stamina to like bring your shield up, it is like you're literally pulling like a cinder block trying to like bring up your shield.
With, like,
and I thought that was so cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
When you run out of ammo, it's like, oh, you feel that trigger, so you know you're out of ammo, you gotta back up and get out of there.
And No Man's Sky had a large part of your guns of like when you're running out of ammo, it was like, especially the mining tool, it builds the resistance, and I thought that was so cool.
Because they always showed it like, oh, guess what? When you pull on an arrow and you shoot it, you feel the drawstring.
Ooh, you get to feel the quiver.
But I also like the dual sense in it too, the haptic feedback where you feel the raindrops when it's raining.
Oh,
just
yeah.
The ever so slight movements on your hand just feels really nice.
Yeah. It's something so small, but it makes such a difference, and I can't wait to see what they do.
It adds with the immersion of it. So adding that to something that's already immersive because you're in VR sounds like it's just great.
It like tricks the brain for like certain things, like just the weapon play alone in like these new games that they're making, and then like taking into consideration like how this is gonna feel. You do feel it a lot more, and it's more than just the solid hits that you feel on these things that you're whacking around.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of substance to feel behind it, but now you actually feel like you're hitting things.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Well, honestly, that's kind of it for the wrap up. I'm not gonna look at my trophies because
let's take a peek at the trophies.
We don't need to talk about the trophies. I'm not a trophy collector.
I know you don't typically go for the trophies.
I will say though, I am very proud of myself. I went out of my way to actually get a platinum this year.
I am proud of you.
And I never ever do that.
What game was that for the platinum for?
So there was this game that came out called Tales of Iron. And it's a really small indie game. It's not that long. I think I beat it in like 15 hours.
Still a good amount of time though.
Yeah, I mean it's a like not like a 7-hour experience of like a Call of Duty campaign.
True.
It's like a decently like I'm satisfied long campaign, and it was hard, Charlie. Like I don't normally play the like 2D. What would you call them?
Grid-based game, like strategy, grid-based.
Yeah, not grid-based. It's like it's whatchamacallit, like a platformer, like a Hollow Knight.
Oh, you don't.
What is it? Side scroller?
Oh, Metroidvania.
Yeah, like Metroidvania type games. I don't normally fuck with those games. And I'm not saying they're bad. They're just not my thing normally. But the style of this game was so cool. Let me set the scene real quick. It's almost like. Did you ever read What's the book called? The Brian Jackies. They're like rats.
Yes.
What is that called?
Oh God.
That's gonna kill me. I should know this. I'm the book guy. Look it up for me real quick while I'm talking about this. But basically, you're a kingdom of it's like post kind of like apocalyptic like set where humans I guess are gone, and it's like rats have kind of become more civilized. Redwall, that's what it is. That yeah. So kind of like that, and you're the prince of this kingdom, and something happens, and you basically get forced into being the king of this this kingdom that is kind of being attacked by these like frogs. Yeah, frogs. Yeah, just let it. We got rats and frogs, Charlie.
Just roll with it.
Just roll with it. But it's like Dark Souls style combat. It was really hard. Like the bosses of this game was just, oh my god. You know when you beat your head against a wall on a boss? That was it.
Then you make it through?
Yeah, and then, because there were places that you could do these things where, like, you're supposed to go this way, right? And, like, you continue on the mission. But there's also this way where if you manage to beat them before the level that you should be beating them on, you get the best weapon in the game. So, I spent a good amount of time at the very beginning of the game, just trying to beat this boss so I can get essentially what was Thor's hammer. I know. And I didn't switch my weapon afterwards, and that was like really
that was
early
just what
on
you had.
where I just kind of got the best weapon, like you do in a Dark Souls game. You kind of speed run towards what you want. And I didn't find out till later that you shouldn't have beat him until like a little later.
So it was one of those, I did something way earlier than I was supposed to.
Yeah, I was like, why is this boss so hard? Like, I spent at least a couple hours trying to beat, maybe not a couple hours, I might be doing myself I did have to stop playing, like, one night to, like, take a break, and then I came back the next day, and that's when I beat him.
Okay,
because
that's
I did
classic.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this, and then let me guess, you probably beat him real quick.
Actually, yeah, it took me, like, maybe 5 tries, the second time that, I don't even want to how many tries that I had on the first go, but,
Yep, absolutely, that's always seems how it goes. You do terrible the first night, try 100 times, and then, alright, let's just try this tomorrow. Go in the next day, boom. After a few tries,
and then you're like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Glad that went like that. Alright, cool.
So yeah, that game was way better than I thought it was gonna, and then I looked at the trophy list, and it was easy enough for me.
Like, hey.
Easy enough, but also you still had to put in some work. Like, you couldn't just...
It wasn't just, here's a free trophy.
Right, so you did have to do some things, and not only that, but the voice of Geralt from the Witcher games was this, like, main narrator guy that you would hear. Because you wouldn't get a lot of, like, voice acting. It was a lot of, like, kind of like squeaks and
text
whatever,
dialogue.
like... Yeah, text dialogue, but you would have him every so often kind of do this, like, narration of, like, what's happening in the moment. Kind of like what cool. Biomutant tried to do, but a lot better.
Yeah, Biomutant. We'll hold off on that one.
Yeah, we won't talk about that game. I had a lot of hopes. Anyway.
That was
so
how many trophies did you earn overall?
389, and I'm very satisfied with that number, Charlie.
Well, I mean, I used to be a big trophy hunter.
I remember.
I mean, I am not as much anymore. I dialed it back, but I'm still going for some. Like, I got 15 platinums this year. 1,074 trophies total. So,
okay, a little bit more than me.
Yeah, I do enjoy... my biggest thing is, if I enjoy a game truly, I want to platinum it. Like, it gives me just that much more entertainment out of game, and I kind of view it as a recognition of, hey, you did a good job on your game. I want to get that platinum and say that you did a good job.
Does that ever feel like work to you?
Certain games with collectibles, it could feel like a little bit of work, but usually with guides, you go in, oh, there's these ones here, do. The best games have little amounts of each thing, but they make you do a little bit of everything rather than everything of everything. So, like, hey, get 10 of these collectibles out of 50. Get 10 of these out of this many. Use this weapon for 5 kills. Use that weapon for 5 kills. So that way you get to try everything. It makes you do a little of everything before, but not being like, hey, there's 200 collectibles. Make sure you get every single one of them.
Those ones I think are my least favorite.
Yeah, the one game, actually, bringing it back to Grand Theft Auto 5, you got to collect pieces of spaceship or something, and there's like 500 or more on the map. And I'm just like, no, that's something I don't really feel like doing. I feel like 4 of them, and it's like, yeah, no.
Did you end up doing it or no?
No.
So okay, yeah.
No.
The thing is, like, with Platinum games, it takes a lot of time that I don't have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a New Game Plus kind of guy. And I know that, like, I wish I was. But a lot of times, like, I'm short for being able to play as much as I would want. You know, full-time job and what have you.
Yeah.
And, you know, life. I wish I had more time to put into it. But once I complete a game, I'm kind of just like, well, I have all these other games I want to play.
Might as well move on.
Yeah. Like, I could honestly probably name off, like, maybe 10 games I should be playing.
I can't sleep.
Well,
so
yeah.
I just spend that time, hey, if I'm not sleeping, might as well play some games.
I mean, me too. I'm not even like trying to sleep until 3 a.m., you know? Not saying that's good. I don't recommend that for anyone.
No, get your 8 get your 8
Get
hours.
some sleep. All right. This is us.
This is our sad ways.
Yes, of no sleep. But yeah, so I don't typically trophy hunt. It's not for me. Maybe when I do end up having some more time in the future, I'll maybe be able to do it a little bit more, but I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
I don't get really a lot of satisfaction from it.
I feel it. There's no real. What they really should do is add something to the trophy lists.
Yeah.
Like, if you get the platinum, you get a exclusive theme.
That would be
or
cool.
something, just like a little digital, even if it's digital something. Hey,
Well,
in the game you get this.
That's one thing that I think Ubisoft does really well, is with their
Little reward system.
Their reward system. I actually do think that's a cool idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless of what you think about their games.
I mean, I like Ubisoft games, but I know some people they're very formulaic.
They are, but that's not saying they're bad. They're just kind of overplayed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If you love the type of game, you're gonna get a lot of it.
Right.
If you're not a big fan of that game, you're probably not gonna like anything from them.
Like, if your first Assassin's Creed game was the new version of Assassin's Creed, like if your first Assassin's Creed game was Valhalla, was that what it's called?
Yeah.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
If that was your first game, you'd be like, "Whoa,
yeah,
this is pretty cool." Like, if you weren't used to that formulaic, quintessential Ubisoft sauce,
the
sauce, right? You'd be blown away. But if your first Assassin's Creed was like the Ezio trilogy, you're kind of like, well...
I mean, the Ezio trilogy was the best of them.
Original
ones.
Yeah, obviously.
But then, I guess there are two different... The Assassin's Creed has had the most change, going from more of an action fighter to an RPG, really?
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that. I think that's cool. They're just two separate, I think, eras of Ubisoft. And then that's not even accounting for the Far Cry stuff that they've done. My first Far Cry was, I think, was Instincts the second one?
No, it was Far Cry 2. It was Far Cry, and then Far Cry 2, then 3, then the Primal, then 4, then New Hope, or whatever that post-apocalyptic one was, and then 5.
I skipped that one.
Okay.
The post-apocalyptic one.
I actually didn't play that either.
Yeah,
I've been meaning to, but it's basically just...
You know what? I was a little mad at Ubisoft for that, because that should have been their DLC. Cause
yeah, I could see that.
Far Cry 5, right? Because it was after that one.
Yeah.
Had the worst DLC. Like, we were so hyped for them. Do you remember?
I enjoyed one of them.
The Mars one?
No, the Vietnam.
Oh, the Vietnam one.
I don't know why. It wasn't that great.
No, it was cool.
It had a weird, like, almost feel to it, like, hey, I would play a whole Vietnam game like this.
Yeah.
But, that being said, it was alright.
They could have done so much with the zombie.
The zombie one was the biggest letdown.
What?
That was the one I was looking forward to
the
most.
Fuck, Charlie? Why didn't they just put zombies on the map? That would have just been amazing. Boom. You have the assets, obviously.
And wasn't it like some kind of score time attack thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Disappointed! What were we talking about originally? I lost it now. We spiraled. We went to Ubisoft.
Yeah, we were talking about trophies.
We're talking about trophies, Ubisoft.
Getting platinums. All
platinums.
Moving on.
Yeah. I know we got to Assassin's Creed somehow, but we're
talking about the formulaic, and then how certain things.
Yeah, but what the hell did we say before that?
Trophies.
Trophies, right. Rubble.
Now this I'm actually more interested in.
What?
Keep going.
Oh, keep going down.
Right there.
What?
Now the PlayStation Plus games, 37 of them coming out. How many did you actually download them?
Where do you see?
Did you not? Weird. It doesn't show you how many of them you've downloaded.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. It just shows me this. Say learn more.
Did you get the free game?
Yeah, I have a bunch of free games.
Huh. You got me curious now. Because there was 37 total.
What the hell?
I only got to download 17 of them because I've owned most of the games.
Ha! Doesn't that suck?
Yeah, you see them and it's like, oh. I mean, it's good for people who are like, I unfortunately play everything, basically.
Right.
It's good for the people who don't have the money or don't want to be going in every single one of them. They had some good ones. But I still got some use out of it. Not a ton, but
I know I
think they had.
have
Yeah, you've definitely
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, and you've played multiple of those games.
Yeah,
You've played stuff
I
together.
couldn't be online playing with you guys if I didn't have PlayStation Plus, and I know I've downloaded multiple games, but for some reason the wrap up isn't
working
giving
for
me
you.
those numbers, but it's giving Charlie those numbers for his. But yeah, so the thing you were most interested in, you don't get to see.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, cool.
That sounds about right.
Cool, Sony. Thanks a lot, bros.
Maybe you just, maybe it's less Sony and more you.
Me?
I don't
What
know.
did I do?
Maybe you're using some kind
Fuck off, mate. Fuck off.
All right. So, now comes. We'll move it a little bit from games to shows and movies. Have you been keeping up with, like...
I don't know shit about shit.
Mm.
What's going on? Give me the scoop.
First things first. Might as well see what your library is. How many services do you have subscribed to?
I got HBO. I got the HBO. I got that Netflix.
Got that Netflix?
I got the Hulu. No, wait, I don't got Disney Plus no more. I don't got that.
Disney Plus, man. If I'm not mistaken, unless they change some stuff up, Disney owns both Hulu and Disney Plus.
Do they?
Yes, so why are they separate?
Well, because...
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I read something wrong, but I could have sworn that they own both of them. So why aren't they under one umbrella? Why am I paying two separate subscriptions?
Well...
I mean, I know there's a deal where you can get Hulu.
Right.
And
Are you sure they're owned by Disney? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Might as well do some fact checking, instead of just blatantly saying non-facts.
Don't even give Disney that idea if it's not a thing yet.
Hulu is a majority company owned by the Walt Disney Company with
Are you
Comcast
kidding
and
me?
NBC Universal holding a majority stake.
Wow.
Huh.
Some things are being...
So they do
they're coming to light.
Yeah, they have the Hulu and the Disney Plus bundle.
I feel
because
like
they don't want to.
I wasn't mad before, and now I'm mad.
You're welcome. Glad to help you out.
Now I'm mad. Why couldn't they just combine it?
See, that was my original. I had Hulu originally, also.
Because Disney Plus ain't cheap.
No. And the thing that got me the most, I loved Hulu, used it forever. Then all of a sudden, one day, I bought the ad because I'm not paying money and watching ads.
No, I'm not doing that either.
No, if I'm,
I have
you're
the same
already
thing,
getting the money from the ads. You're not getting money from me also, and then the ads.
Mhm.
So I just paid the fee to watch no ads. Then all of a sudden, one day I started watching ads, and I'm like, why am I seeing ads right now? And I was like, all right, maybe it was just some weird thing. Log out, log back in. Saw ads on more stuff. Looked it up. Apparently now they have ads for shows that aren't owned by Disney and Hulu. Like, they're not originals. Like, let's say Fox owns them. They're allowed to put ads in their shows to make revenue for themselves.
What?
Yeah, so I canceled the subscription at first because I was a little mad. Just... I got it back again, obviously. But because, I need my shows. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Now I'm staring off into space.
Still thinking about Disney and Hulu.
Still thinking about Disney and Hulu. I had no idea that they were owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm blown away.
Just,
I mean, I get it because Disney be making that change, bro.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna own everything, you need to make the money to
Yeah.
buy everything.
Why would we put this on Hulu when we could obviously make an archive of all of our Disney stuff and make you pay an extra
I mean, I
fee?
can understand why they have a Disney specific one, but it should also be hey, here's the two packages. Hulu's on this half. This is on this half. It should come naturally. You pay the subscription, you get both of them.
Yeah.
You get Hulu and Disney.
Yeah. Maybe a discounted.
Yeah, I mean they do that. They have a Disney, Hulu,
And that's
ESPN
discounted.
Plus, and that's discounted a little bit, but
Gonna be honest, I just let the auto pay come out, so
Mhm.
I barely even pay attention. I'm just these are the things I have.
And then I don't think you have it, but I could always lend you mine. I have, since the weeb is strong in me, I have a Crunchyroll subscription.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I might ask you for that.
Yeah, because there's a few shows. I mean, don't get me started on Crunchy. Don't watch any Crunchy original shows.
I won't. Wait, so is Crunchyroll the one that focuses on subtitles
All
more?
orange.
Because
They have both.
Okay, so look, I really like my English.
Mm.
I really like watching my animes in dub. And I'm not saying that sub isn't good. Like, I
No.
have watched some in sub.
The question isn't, is sub good? It's, is dub any good?
I mean, good for me, okay?
Now, don't get me wrong. There's your Cowboy Bebops, your Full Metal Alchemist.
They're good.
Great voice acting.
Yeah.
And then there's everything else.
Okay, not all of them are as bad as people make it out to be.
No. There's
Some of them,
doable,
right.
but there are some.
But I'm also
god-awful.
really into voice acting, and I can't study someone who's speaking in Japanese as well as somebody that I can study who's doing what is selling in the market for...
Well, clearly you're looking at this the wrong way. You should just learn Japanese and then do Japanese voice acting.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, because when you look at it, yeah, I should be.
Actually, fun fact, a lot of other shows that are brought from here to Japan, they prefer listening to it in English rather than Japanese dubbed.
Wait, who's they?
Like Japan. Like,
Oh.
let's say Breaking Bad
Yeah.
is sent over to Japan. They'd rather listen to it with the English rather than Japanese
So
dubbed.
are
It's
you
the same
saying
way
that... So it's like their anime, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, the English is way better.
Yeah, because they hear, same with us, when it's bad voice acting,
Yeah.
you know it.
Yeah.
So, sent over there, they can't really tell what's bad English. Like, even a bad English voice actor, they won't really know as much.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept of they prefer seeing it subtitled out with the English audio.
But hear me out.
So,
Also, my brain don't work right sometimes. I cannot multitask. So, like, there's a lot of
Reading and
people...
watching, yeah.
So when it comes to reading and watching, and I really... Especially when it comes to, like, real films, I know now I'm, like, contradicting myself here. But when it comes to, like, real film, I will typically watch the sub version rather
like if it's
than
a
watch...
French movie. Well, those are usually awful, the dubbed.
Well, yeah, because, you know, it's one thing
Worse
in
than
anime,
anime, yeah,
when
worse
you're
than
when you're
anime.
doing lip syncing, because the voice actors work really hard to try to match those lip syncs, right?
Mm.
You don't get that when you're watching real film dubs, because that's not their priority.
Yeah, and it even sounds like some of the people just don't sound like they're acting. It's like they're, all right, read
They're
this
just
script.
saying
Yeah,
it,
here,
yeah.
read this.
So, you know, when it comes to real films, I'll watch the sub, but with the anime, you know, hearing the English
I
really helps me enjoy it a lot more.
understand.
Some of them are just straight up bad, though. Like, I'll admit that. I'm not saying it's better, because it's not. But it's better for me.
Gotcha. No, the Crunchyroll does have the English dub.
It does,
and
okay.
sub. You could kind of go either way with it.
Okay.
But back to the original point, the Crunchyroll originals. That's since they need more content, so they started like taking webtoons and making their own shows. Have not been good. Like, they've been bad.
How bad?
Like, there's an ongoing running joke that Crunchyroll originals are just the dumpster where things go to die.
Okay.
But I feel like Crunchyroll does have one of the bigger, more wide selection of it. Even
okay.
though a lot of...
What was the other option? There's Crunchyroll and there's like another one, right?
Wow, why is the name blanking from me real quick? Funimation.
Funimation. Okay, yeah.
I tried to do Funimation. I don't know. I don't know if it was just the PlayStation's app version of it. It just wasn't really vibing with the way the UI interface was set up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Crunchyroll felt a little bit better. But a funny thing is, Netflix and Hulu and a lot of them are starting to try. They need content. Everyone's trying to scoop up content so that way they can become the bigger streaming. So that way the rest of them fall off and there's 3 left.
They need to be the alpha streamer.
Yeah, so that way they're one of the 3 leftover ones.
Keep telling me to like come up to the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to like
Hold on. Let
be
me
all
just-
subtle.
So, with them needing content, they're actually starting to branch more out into animation also. So you're going to get there's been some original animes in Netflix and Hulu.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are great. Like,
Some of them are real good though.
but then you get 5 trash and then like 2 or 3 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sad that they're doing better than the anime's streaming sites
So
original anime.
what you're saying is that the Netflix original animes are doing better than the anime streaming like
Platform.
mega platform their originals are doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see the problem there. How about movies? Have you been keeping up with the movies? Like your Marvel movies, your big names.
I kept up with like basically after the whole first era of the Marvel movies. A lot of this stuff that came after it has not really interested me.
Really?
The only things that have are the Venom movies.
I love the Venom movie because I love the characters, but of course you love one of the ones that typically fans
I'm not
are saying
I
are good,
love it.
critics are saying they hate it. I mean, I like it.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I think it's all right.
But it's just what you've been interested in?
Yeah, what I'm interested in, and that's mostly because, first of all, the two Toms. What's the Venom guy? Tom Hardy. Love Tom Hardy. I think he's amazing. He's such a good character.
He's got a good range too. He's not like actor playing. So he's not like Tom Hardy playing Tom Hardy.
You've seen him in Peaky Blinders too, right now?
No, I haven't got to that yet.
Wait till you see him in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, I just started. Please tell me he plays a decent sized role.
Oh well, yeah. Cool, His role is pretty big, but it's an iconic role, and it's like the thing I like about Tom Hardy is very, very good at manipulating his voice.
Yeah,
and you'll see it. The difference between how he's playing that like high-strung, guy in the city. Yeah. I got a lot of stuff going on. Like, it's up here. But in Peaky Blinders, he's more like down here.
He's more of a Bane.
Yeah, it's like Bane, but not really. It's like if Bane had a British, which he did Bane. So, if Bane had a British accent that was less behind a mask and a little bit more
gravelly,
not gravelly, because Bane is more gravelly, but a little bit more mumbly. It's like a really low, like guttural from like the back of the throat, like British, like mumble. It's really good. Anyway, so the two Toms, Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. We got the Spider-Man and the Venom. Those are the two that have interested me the most.
Okay.
And then with the current Spider-Man movie that came out.
Oh, No Way Home? Or no. No Way Home.
Is it No Way Home?
Yeah, because it's Homecoming, Far From Home,
and then No Way Home. That has been my favorite one.
Oh, it's been one of my favorite superhero movies easily.
Yeah, easily. What they did was what everyone wanted. Yeah. So those have been the two that interested me the most. The things with like the Eternals, and Shang-Chi, I'm looking at it and I'm just like,
cool superhero movie?
Yeah, cool superhero movie, bro. I don't know. I'm not interested. There's, like, some things there's a magic that's lost to me with the Marvel movies right now. And I'm not saying that they're terrible, because they're probably good. I haven't watched them. They just, usually when you see, like, a Marvel movie trailer, you're like, hell yeah. Let me go see that movie, right? And maybe that's because in the past years we've been spoiled with, like, these epics coming to a conclusion, that there are these like
Infinity
big
War
moments happening, and you're just like, wow, I gotta be there. I gotta see this all kind of come to a head. Or even like, the movies right before that, it was still a lead up point.
Yeah, this is a bit of an awkward time where it's now in the new lead up.
Right.
Like it's the new more, all right, this is the space Avengers.
Right.
And
I'm more interested to see like when things start kind of getting more cohesive and rolling. Because, the beginning of epics are usually the hardest for people to break into because they don't know that there's a platform later on for them to stand on and be like, this was a good, project.
Yeah. It's also harder because they're reaching into the bags of stuff that people don't know as much about. I mean, they did have that during the original with Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those weren't really big.
And maybe that's a part of, like, just me being naive to a lot of these things. They're not recognizable icons that I know of, like Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, everyone knows
Hulk.
them.
Everyone knows who these characters are. Who the fuck is Shang-Chi? I've never heard of him.
I mean, Eternals are a little bit bigger, but yeah, who are the Eternals? They're not Iron Man.
I have no idea who these people are.
They come from space?
What are they? Space? Yeah, space plebes? I don't understand. But that's just me being naive. Like, I have no idea. And that's part of, I think, where the magic is being lost for some people. Like myself, who's just like a casual... Well, I wouldn't say casual, because I really did love the whole Marvel era that I got. And I've never been a comic book person, but this is where I got most of my...
knowledge of
the
whole universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a group that I go every Marvel movie. Every time a new Marvel movie comes out, me and two other people always go.
Oh.
Just because?
Yeah.
Daryl Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
if you're listening. But it's just a thing we do. It's a time we get together, we get to watch things, and we discuss. We always have discussions, so I've seen every movie. And the problem with the movies is, if you don't watch all of them, there's a chunk that you lose out on.
I know.
There's a lot of, like, they like to do the interweaving stuff, and there's like, hey, I recognize that reference.
Yeah.
That was the rings from Shang-Chi. Why is it in here? Oh, they're mentioning that.
And
And it is fun to, like, get those, but if you're just going in and, like, I don't like either of those movies, they don't sound interesting. All those nice little references that you might get in the other movies, you're not going to get, so it's kind of...
So it's not as interesting. You're not, like, getting these moments of, like, oh, I remember that, and then it's just, like, kind of, like, something attaching to the film that you can...
Yeah, like, at the end of... Let's say you watched some random movie. Oh, they mentioned a big bad guy from this person's movie.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's coming up soon. That's going to have some cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
You don't get that.
No, you don't. And I get the appeal.
It's a problem it's kind of hard to balance, so I can see why,
I think what'll happen is I'll probably wait until things kind of get... Like, I'll go see the movies that do interest me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also...
Then you can always ask your friends, like, oh, was there anything that happened in these that kind of...
And what I thought was really cool in Spider-Man, to go back I did watch a lot of the Daredevil show, and when they brought what's his name, Murdoch in, I was like, oh my god! So they're taking the show people now, sticking them in here.
Well, the funny thing is, it's Feige, I think, that's in charge of all of them.
I think so.
He has been vocal. He's like, I don't like any of the Marvel shows except you, Daredevil. I like you.
Yeah,
you can stay.
You can stay.
Everyone else just push them to the side. You guys can stay. I need to catch more up on the shows. I've been slacking a little on that. I haven't watched Hawkeye yet.
I haven't watched it either. To be honest, again, these are things I'm not really interested in. I like Jeremy Renner, and I like the character Hawkeye, but I'm also not interested in the whole show about it.
I think the show would have been way better if it was earlier in the Marvel timeline.
Yeah.
Like when the Avengers were first getting started.
I agree.
Because I could watch a show about Hawkeye. But when there's these galactic people, also, I'm kind of a little more interested in the galactic people.
I'm going to watch this guy shooting arrows. Wait, what is his power?
He's good at aiming.
He's good at aiming.
Now,
so yeah, there's a little bit lost there as well.
The one exception, which I plan to watch immediately when it comes out, which means I'll have to get a Disney Plus subscription, Moon Knight.
Oh.
I am looking forward to Moon Knight. I do read the comics. I love comics. I'm just a nerd
who doesn't sleep and knows nothing about what is going on for Moon Knight, the trailer spoke to me. I was like, this sounds cool.
You're probably not going to get what you're thinking.
Okay.
He is a gentleman with split personality disorder.
Okay.
He's got 3 different personalities. There's the main one, and then 2 other ones. The one that it looks like in this movie, or the show, that's the best part. I love when, sorry to go off on another random tangent, I love when things become shows rather than movies. You get more fleshed out characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The length of it is usually better. Like, it's nice to get like 5 to 8 1-hour episodes rather than a 3-hour movie. It seems like he is going to be one of his personas, and he's not going to know about the other ones. Because the character that he's being right now, it seems like one of the side personas. Like, that's not his main persona.
Interesting.
Because when he picks up the phone, and someone goes, "Oh, why didn't you call me this whole time?" And he goes, "Why did you call me this name?" I think it was Mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mark Spector. That's the main persona. That's Moon Knight.
Okay.
So one of his side personas, it seems like he doesn't know what's going on with the other ones.
A little confused boy.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how because it seems like he's got a pretty set up life. So I want to see what they do here, but I do just love the whole Moon Knight. It's got a lot of Egyptian themes, as you saw. He was in the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
He gets his powers from an Egyptian god.
Cool.
But yeah, the production quality looks amazing.
That's what I need. I need production quality.
Yeah.
If I don't have production quality, I'm sorry. I'm bougie like that now. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
After seeing certain things, like, if you
Disney's
don't know.
ruined it.
Like, let me talk about something real quick. Because you'll learn from me that I'm a huge book person.
Yep.
And they're doing a show on Amazon called Wheel of Time. And Wheel of Time is one of the juggernauts of epic fantasy. Now, I'll preface right now that I've been holding off on actually reading Wheel of Time.
So that way you could read all of it?
Yeah, I'll read all of it once the show is done. And I know that seems like, why are you doing that? It's because I don't like... reading something before I can enjoy another medium that I know is probably not going to be.
It's going to be inferior to the original.
Exactly,
So
because then
I'll watch the bad version and then read the amazing version.
Exactly, because you can enjoy the bad version first.
Because you don't know it's bad. It's
Right.
Hey, this is pretty goddamn great.
Right.
And then,
And then what
it wasn't,
happens is,
but okay.
it's like when you read the book after that, you're kind of like, they're adding so much to it that you enjoy it so much
seems like
more.
they expanded
Because you
it
know
out.
when you leave a show, like something that's been like really good, you're like, wow, I kind of just wish that
there was more of it.
there was like more.
Yeah.
And you get more plus more because you get like way more character
Characters
development.
fleshed out.
You understand more of their motives.
Things happen that they had to cut because you got to make a time restraint for the
Right.
show.
So, speaking of production value, they have a lot of it.
Oh.
And the show itself is decent, right? But here's my problem.
Uh-oh.
Somebody needs to be fired.
Ooh.
Because their compositing for their CGI, and I'm throwing words out here now, is terrible. If you've seen Dune, right? Have you seen it?
The
or
new
at
one,
least,
or-
yeah, the new Dune
Yes.
movie. You see how they match a lot of like colors, so the CGI, like the big worm
Blends
that
in.
comes out, looks so real.
Yeah.
You're like, this is top quality. Now I understand that there's a
It's
difference
hard.
between
Movie quality and
movie quality,
blockbuster.
blockbuster, and money being thrown around, right? Because obviously you're not always gonna get that quality because it takes money, time, and effort,
And
right?
it's a book, so
Right.
they're like, yeah.
But
well,
there are things that you're doing, like I see the quality, right? The quality is there in the show.
so it's not like it's
But
a crappy
something-
quality show and
no,
crappy CGI.
what's-
It's a good show with
Yeah.
crappy CGI.
No, it's not even crappy CGI. This is the weird thing, Charlie. The CGI is pretty decent. Like, if you look at some of the stuff that they're doing in the backgrounds and the characters, you're like, wow, this is okay. Like, I'm buying it. But what I'm not buying is, like, if you throw me a creature that is like 100% CGI creature, and you can't get your weight distributions, where when you're walking around and, like, you know, not flying, but, like, you're doing certain movements that are not really unnatural because you can... The thing
There'd be a
about
little
when
more
you're
weight to
watching
that and-
things, right, move, there is a inherent weight distribution to motion, right?
It's like if you step to the left, a lot of the weight, if you're
Right.
something heavy, a lot of that weight is going to shift to the
So,
left as you're moving.
You can 100% tell when somebody's being mocapped, which is like when people are performing
Wearing
the
it.
animation.
Yeah, they wear the mocap suit and it
Mhm.
actually tracks their whole movement, which makes it more
Right.
realistic.
It feels a lot more real because there's an actual body moving mechanic, right? You can tell the difference between someone's being mocapped and to someone who's struggling
on a computer.
on a
just
computer to basically go through and keyframe all of
certain
these
spots.
certain motions. And that really throws me off when it's noticeable.
Yeah.
And it's hard to really come back from that. Because there's these big things called Trollocs, and they're supposed to be these, like, really, like, gruesome, like, fantasy creature, like, tusks coming out, and you look weird,
just
moving.
doesn't look right.
You just, something ain't right.
That's
And
the
then-
worst part. It's just something feels wrong.
Something feels, it's an uncanny valley. So what happens is there's something that looks so, like
it should
real,
It should be.
but either the motion isn't right, and then my biggest problem that they were having is that they're compositing. They're like mixing of all these elements into the thing. We're not being done in a sense where if you can look at a background and go, somebody did that background, this is not real. Opposed to something like Lord of the Rings, where you look at it and you're like, I know that's
that could be a
fantasy,
place.
but holy crap, like I buy
feel like
that.
I could walk there.
Yeah, so basically what you're looking at and what your eye does is when shadows and color values don't match up,
Yep.
especially with shadows and like reflections and stuff. Like if you have like let's say you're in the woods, right? And you have let's say your person is going to be the thing, or animal, like a bear. I just recently saw a faked bear thing. Then this is what I'll reference here. But basically what they did, they were faking a bear attack. Not in like trying to sell it as real, but as like a CGI thing. And what had happened was his shadows or the coloring was off. So you would have like the trees, right? And then it would be a
The
certain
lighting
time
from
of
the
day.
tree.
So it'd be like the brown there would be a certain type of like shaded, right? And then you have this like almost luminescent bear
Bears,
coming at
yeah.
you, and you or I immediately will
Something's
be
wrong
like,
here.
something's wrong. this feels like way too bright for this situation. And if your background to your foreground characters are off like that, it kind of takes you out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that the show is bad because I watched it and I enjoyed it.
It's just there's some glaring issues.
There are some glaring issues from the CGI aspect, and yes, I know that there are some things that they deviated from the book to the show, but that wasn't even my biggest issue.
With the CGI, before you continue, sorry.
That was a long rant. I'm very sorry. I'm specific about...
But it made me think of, with CGI, it's one of those things where the best CGI... you won't even notice that's the best CGI.
That's the best.
It's one of those unappreciated things where it's like, it's so good that you don't notice it. Unless you're like a person who goes in looking for that stuff. The best CGI you'll just watch and you'll never even think of the CGI.
Yeah.
That's what the best is. It's
that's
when
what
you know it's CGI.
Like, and especially with fantasy type things or
where
like
so
Marvel things.
Unique.
You know these things will never happen in real life. You don't have a reference for them. So your only reference is in the show or the movie. And if something feels off, you're immediately taken out of it.
Quiet Place. Excellently well done.
Amazing.
CGI. It's like, hey, those things look like they're in the environments. When they hit a car or something, you can see the car get dented.
Yep.
They make the shadowing.
Yep.
Now back to your show.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. You said there was more to it? You said it wasn't even the CGI.
No, most of it was the compositing of the CGI. Like I'll later show you what I mean, but your eye automatically knows the difference. And there was so many times where it, like during the show, because it is such a fantasy like thing, that a lot of the backgrounds are going to be CGI, and like I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's CGI. Because like there's also a lot of times where you'll have a fantasy show or whatever, and they film in real places.
Yeah.
You know? And like you could tell that this was just like a green screen, like,
yeah, someone just
room.
threw up a, yeah.
Which is, I sound so bougie right now, but it's like...
How dare they not fly out to these expensive locations and record the stuff?
Especially being their first season, and I get that. And it's not even just them. I'm just saying in general, I'm a little picky. But that's not saying it's, like, I liked the show.
Yeah, you won't stop watching it because of that.
Right.
But
I'm not going to say, fuck this show.
But you'll also put in some critiques.
Yeah,
Let them know, this is what...
That was the thing that bothered me the most. And I do know... So, small other tangent. The writer of the books, Robert Jordan, is very famous, considered one of the best because he put out this giant epic. Did not finish the books before he died. No.
Oh, he died.
He died. So he died, right? And so they hadn't been finished. And I
That's always the
believe
worst one,
that there were 2 or 3 at the very end that still needed to be completed.
Did he give... I know sometimes it's rare, but they give instructions to other people how it ends. Did
here
he tell anyone?
Is the cool thing. For me, I'm a nerd this way. My favorite author is Brandon Sanderson. And he wrote this book series called Mistborn. That really put him on the map. And so Robert Jordan's wife was looking for someone to
finish his book.
Finish the grand epic of the Wheel of Time. Now Brandon had grown up reading those books. Those were his favorite books growing up. And it really inspired him, from what I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. But from what I know is that like this really inspired him in a lot of ways, and a lot of other writers too. So nothing even on his radar is kind of like, wow, Robert Jordan died. That sucks, right? Yeah. Somebody, I don't know the names of these people, but somebody forwarded Robert Jordan's wife the Mistborn series, and she read them and was like, this is the guy.
This is the guy that'll finish.
This is the guy that'll finish him. And like called him like randomly.
Hey.
Like, hey, this is, you know.
It's me,
I don't know her name, but like this is me. And so
I need you to do me a favor.
She was shopping around, like not going around like asking people for like,
She wanted to see someone who caught her eye first.
Right. And so she had come to him like, hey, I really think that you might be the person to finish this. And at first he was like, I don't know if I can do that.
That's a big order there. I don't know.
That's a very tall order. Like, especially being such a fan, it's like, wow, that's a lot of pressure.
That's like, hey, you know that childhood thing you loved? Well, you're in charge of it. You want to be in charge of it?
Yeah. So it's scary, right?
Yeah.
And what I like to think happened, because I don't think this actually happened, but I like to think his wife, after he got off the phone, Brandon's wife, was like, all right, come on. Don't be a little bitch.
Yeah, come on, nut up.
Nut up. You can do this.
I'm asking you to do it. Get your ass and do it.
Right. So he ended up saying it, and he finished it, and it's been considered like, good. It was a good finish.
It wasn't like a fan fiction of
No,
this is what
was like
this is what some random person would think. He took his time and
he took his time. He was able to have some leeway with the things, but ultimately,
tried to stay true.
Robert Jordan's wife could veto and be like, "No, we can't go this way."
That's a good.
So like he was allowed to kind of do the writing. She would be able to supervise and kind of structure like where things were going or where they couldn't go. Because you got to think like way ahead.
Yeah.
Like writing a book, you got to plot out these things.
Yeah, I mean, like, I try to write with my lazy ass self, and I always have the beginning and end before anything else.
Right.
Like I have.
Well, you should
Yeah.
know where it's going and where it starts.
Like everything I've ever like, I always think of stuff and then like, oh yeah, I got to get to this, and then just never do it, and then think of a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like to write because I can't draw.
Me either.
I can't animate. I can't draw, so I like to write.
Right.
Because I love making up stories and stuff like that, but you see it every time. You're like, oh, this is how it would end. Now,
Yeah.
how do you get to there?
The middle part, the big chunk, the book,
Yeah.
or like the actual writing
the
part.
meat.
That's the
The meat
meat.
of the
The meat's hard, man.
Yeah.
Oh, oof. Where's my wife to say that's what she said when I need her? But yeah. Anyway, to
So,
end
back
this
to that.
tangent, Brandon Sanderson, who
Did he
wrote
finish
part
them?
of the Wheel of Time, yeah, he finished the series for them, is definitely involved with the show.
Okay, so
He
he's kind of
doesn't write the scripts out,
dabbling in it.
but he does give a lot of advice. They don't always follow what he wants to do because, ultimately it
It's
comes
their
down to their
project.
decision.
Yeah,
It's their project.
They wanna
But
do.
he does go over a lot of the scripts. He does give them some feedback, whether or not they,
I don't know if they would do this.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
It's
So
like
he
just
is-
little tips. And
he
hints
is involved. And at least I know that there is someone who is very passionate about these books is getting a word in.
Yeah, that's good because
And he was very clear with them when they started the project. He's like, I will be a part of this project, but that does not mean that I cannot say what I think about the end product. So there were problems that he had with the show, and he was happy to tell everyone what his issues were with the show. And that was his like one of the things that he was very clear about at the very beginning. It's like, I might trash this show if it's bad. Like if it's bad, I'm gonna trash it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some things if
Yeah.
I have some things to say.
So I thought that was respectable. It's like, the man working on it's like, I'll let you know if it's bad.
I appreciate both sides though. One, that he's willing to give critiques, but not be so much where he's like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that.
Mhm.
Because it's also their thing that they're doing, so they want to probably have their own little
Right.
tweaks and twists on it.
The man respects creative quality.
Yes. It's when people, the biggest problem is when a author or a director makes something and then their version is the only right version.
Mm-hmm.
So if other people are getting information from them, they're like, no, that's stupid. Why would you do that? Even if it's a good idea, sometimes they'll think their way was better.
Yeah.
But it's good when they don't do that and they're like, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I guess I see what you're doing there. And
Yeah.
but they still give a little bit input without trying to take control.
Yeah, and that's like when because you're giving somebody a lot of leeway, right,
Mhm.
to be creative. You get too many chefs in the kitchen, and then you have
Garbage
poop pie.
gumbo, yeah.
Yeah, garbage.
Just
We don't
what is
want
it?
garbage.
Yeah, no.
Get that garbage out of here.
Especially when it's something you love and a series you love.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be the same for some people. Some people never
Mhm.
happy. We'll find a reason to have a problem, but a little bit of twists, keep it in the same ballpark, and you're happy. It's
And you're
good.
happy. Everyone's happy.
It's a good
So,
time.
moral of the story is, I love Brandon Sanderson. If you're looking for books to read, check out almost any of his works. I'd start with Mistborn or his Stormlight Archives. Those are like they're amazing. Just
You and Jesse.
you
Can't
just
get enough of them.
go to Audible and listen to these books. They're absolutely amazing. If you're looking to get back into reading, you don't even have to read. Just throw on that Audible. Listen to it.
Not even sponsored, but we'll give them a
Not
shout
even
out.
sponsored. Not even sponsored, but I'll tell you right now. Charlie.
Wow.
Audible's changed my life. I read so much now, and I don't give a fuck what you say. Listening to books is the same thing as reading. Just because you have enough time to sit down and read your book doesn't make you better than me, all right?
Yeah.
You ain't better than me.
Some of us have to work for a living,
Yeah.
Do a little
I work
listening.
and play video games. I don't got time to sit down and read.
Yeah, so I listen while I play my games, all right?
That's right. Dual tasking. Zoned out playing a video
Yeah,
game.
just-
Like, what are you doing? I'm listening to books. Where do we go from here, Charlie? I feel like we end up starting somewhere, tangent out,
Loop back.
loop back, and then we're right back in the thick of it. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, the nice thing is we got a nice little bit of
This whole thing started off as trying to introduce ourselves.
yeah, and it was gonna be a short episode.
It was gonna be a short episode. And look at us. We're over an hour. Over an hour and 10.
Hour and 10.
We didn't even talk about Dying Light.
No.
You want to get that in there
save...
real quick before we leave?
No, we might save that fish for. We'll make that the little one.
Okay.
So we'll have another one to throw up in case someone wants to take a break or just listen into that.
Yeah.
But I feel like people got a better knowledge of us and what we're doing here.
Yeah. If you take away anything from this,
we're nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds, and we go on tangents. Yes. All right, and we lose ourselves.
That's why, if you do have any questions, let us know at topadosmediajunkies@gmail.com. Same spelling as the podcast itself. If you want to know about what we play, what we like to watch, if there's stuff that you guys really like and have suggestions for us, because I'm always looking to watch stuff. I'm kind of light on my shows right now. I'm going back and watching Peaky Blinders.
Right. So we're loose fucking cannons right now.
A lot of the games I will probably already have on my list to watch and play.
If you haven't gathered, also, by the way, we play a lot of PlayStation.
Yes, I do have everything.
Yeah,
I have everything.
I gotta get myself an Xbox at some point. PC is cool, but I don't have the space and the money or the means to do that right now. In the future, I would love to do some PC gaming, but as of where my life is right now,
it's PlayStation
it ain't
Switch.
Happening. PlayStation, where it's at right now.
We both got a Switch. We both got a PlayStation.
PlayStation.
We both were fortunate enough to get the PS5.
Yeah, which is great. I love it so far.
So great.
Best thing about it is the loading times.
Oh yeah, I actually got an Xbox One recently. So
wait, is that the current gen?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Xbox Series.
Right.
X.
Why can't they just get their shit together?
That's
and
the one
numbers?
thing. Like Xbox, you know how many people bought an Xbox One X and an Xbox Series X
thinking it was the other one? A lot of people probably.
And a lot of people have been going online selling the Xbox Series
and then
X, trying to trick
I've seen that before because I was like, you just said the Xbox One, and I went back and thought about
get the new Xbox One
and
X.
I was like, wait, what?
They'll throw the word new on there so people will think it's the new system.
Yeah.
But they just mean a new in-box.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No.
Get them out of here.
Any scalpers can just get the...
Yeah, they can fuck off.
We'll save that for a rant for another time.
Anywho's what's it? Yeah.
Like I said, movies, games, shows, anything you want us to talk about.
We're looking for feedback. We want to hear from you.
What we should do different. What you guys want to see.
Right. And maybe throw a download in there.
Yeah.
Listen all the way through. I know it might not be your cup of tea yet, but you could say you were there.
Yeah. You could see where it all began.
Where it all began, Charlie. And with that,
I think it's the perfect time to head on out.
I think that is the perfect time to head out.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
We're gonna try to upload weekly.
We'll try to.
Try,
Yeah, we're still getting this whole
beginning,
thing down.
trying to get everything going, but we'll try to get
like I said,
one.
Loose fucking cannons. Let's go. What are you pointing at me for?
Talk to y'all later.
Goodbye.